Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you today? I hope you're still healthy. My name is ARLION and today I will represent to you getting started with SPSS. But before we start our material, let's find out what SPSS is. What is SPSS? SPSS stood for Statistical Package for the Social Science. It is a widely used program for statistical analysis in social science. It is also used by market researchers, health researchers, survey companies, government, education researchers, marketing organizations, and others. Okay, after you know what SPSS is, now you need to know what data set is. A dataset is a core or a heart of quantitative data analysis. A dataset is actually just a collection of numbers organized into rows and columns. In dataset, you need to focus on two key points. First, a row represents a case. A case is the term used to refer to the unit of analysis. Second is a column, represent a variable. There are three general things to do before we open up and explore the dataset. First is that all the data need to be translated into numeric form for SPSS to work with. Thus, while the categories that our respondent can choose form for each question are all described in dataset. Second is that while numbers have been used for convenience to represent these different categories, they may not actually mean anything numerically. And third is the usefulness of what is called recording your questionnaire. Recording a questionnaire basically means including where possible the variable names and values for each response category on the questionnaire itself. Okay, after you know what dataset is, now time to open and explore the dataset. First of all, you need to download the dataset from the companion website. All the dataset features in the website are downloadable, and you can follow the same routine in each case by right-clicking on the link to download dataset. Select Save Target As, select the appropriate place and click Save In. There are just two that are worth pointing out here. The first is the value labels icon, second from the right. Clicking on this icon will display the value labels rather than the numbers in the dataset itself. The other icon to note is the variables icons. Clicking on this icon calls up the variables windows. This is a useful feature that helps you to explore variables in the dataset. To analyze the datasets, all you need to do is to select Analyze, then Descriptive Statistics, and then Frequencies. Select the variable you are interested in by clicking on it once, and then the variable should be highlighted and the arrows button in the middle of the window should become darkened. And then to generate a bar chart as well as a frequency table, you need to click on the Charts button as also. To scroll up the additional frequencies charts window, select bar charts and then percentage as. Once done, click the Continue button. Finally, click OK in the main frequencies window. This will produce a new output window with the results. Okay, after you know what dataset is and able to explore it, then the last thing you need to do is practice what you have learned. To make your own dataset, before typing in any numbers, we begin by defining the variables. To begin with, we click on the Variable View tab. What we will do now is work our way across the columns to type in the information required. The first column, headed Name, is where you type in a certain variable name for each of the variables. To start entering the names, simply click in the first cell and type in ID, and then click in the second cell below and type in the name of the second variable, and so on. The second column, headed Type, simply defines what type of variables we are dealing with. In most cases, this will be numeric. As the name suggests, a numeric variable is one where all the values are represented by numbers. The next column, headed Width, specifies the maximum number of digits or characters for each variable. The next column, headed Label, includes a proper description of each variable that will appear in any tables or charts you produce with SPSS. It is therefore worth naming this properly. To add in the variable name, simply click in the relevant cell and type in the name. You will find that the column will increase automatically as you type. The Values column is used to specify value labels where necessary. What we need to do in this value column is to set the label for each of the four numbers. To do this, we click in the cell corresponding to the variable continent and then click on the small gray box that appears to the right-hand side of the cell. For each value, type in the value and then its corresponding label in the fields indicated and click Add. Repeat the process for the others and then click OK when finished. The next column, headed Missing, is where you define any missing values for that variable. Missing values are simply used to indicate that the data are missing for that variable. For missing values, you can always just leave the cell empty, in which case SPSS will just insert a period to indicate nothing has been entered. However, the problem with just leaving it blank like this is that you will never know in the future whether it's blank because there are missing data or because of a mistake typing the data in. The key thing you need to do is to define these values as missing subsequent analysis. To do this, simply click in the relevant cell within the column headed Missing and then click on the gray box that appears to the right-hand side. This will call up the missing values window. As an example, if we were creating the dataset, then we would select discrete missing values and then type in -1 and 99 as shown and then click OK. The next two columns, headed Columns and Align, simply define the width of the columns as they appear in the data view as well as the alignment of the data in each cell. To do this, you simply need to click in the relevant cell and change the value to 20. The final column, headed Measure, specifies the type of variable we are dealing with. To set this, simply click on each of the cells in turn and then use the drop-down menu that will appear to the right of the cell. It is very important to define this properly so that you can use the chart builder function. Okay, you are now ready to enter the data in the data view. To do this, click on the data view tab in bottom left of the main SPSS window and then simply type in the data as carefully as possible. After that, you should save it as the dataset. And finally, let's take a look at what relationship exists between the variables. You can see if that is the case using what is known as a scatter plot. To do this, select Graphs and then Legacy Dialogs and then Scatter Dot. From the main menu, open an initial scatter or dot window where you should select Simple Scatter and then click Define. This opens the Simple Scatter Plot window. Then click on the variable in the list on the left-hand side and then click on the top arrow button to place it into the y-axis field. Next, click on the the other variable in the list on the left-hand side and then click on the second arrow button to place it into the x-axis field and then click OK to finish the procedure. And that's all of my presentation for today. And I hope this will help you in the future, and I hope you still stay healthy. And I'm ARLION. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.